And hello, friends. It's me, your old pal Voltaire. Happy New Year, everybody. We're straight into 2026 and we're ready to get started. So let's remember, everybody, find something that makes you happy, reach out and grab it. Find out what keeps you going when you're in the worst times or you're not feeling good. And when you find that thing, pursue it. Make yourself feel better. You know what makes me feel better? Being a part of the show that brings the most real, honest, unbiased content on YouTube. And I'm happy to bring friendship as well to everybody here. But listen, please remember, the mic drop is a mature conversation that oftentimes touches on mature subject. Sorry, it's a free-flowing conversation that oftentimes touches on mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Right. Thank you, Voltaire. Thank you, mic drop fans and viewers. We're glad to be back. We have a DC and Marvel topic. And I know I already see CJH in the chat. Superhero movies are done. No, they're not. It's just different. And we also talked about box office behind the scenes too. But we do have to get to the banter section.
This is the banter section.
Yeah, the banter section.
Everybody loves the banter section. This is your friends chatting around, and we're including you guys. We're all just friends at a Buffalo Wild Wings or a happy hour.
I wish I had a beer. I need to get more beer.
Right, something like that would help, actually. Yeah. And listen, part of the banter section is CJH has blocked me, so I can't see his chats.
Oh, really?
CJH in Canada.
CJH, I actually think you and Voltaire would get a lot, like, as long as you don't get upset by the Canadian jokes, they're just jokes. He actually loves Canadians.
Well, there was a time where CJH and I talked off air and we were friendly. And then it turned into him reporting me to the police. So, you know.
Oh, no, don't share that. Oh, God. No, he's going to. Please don't get upset, CJ. Please. Oh, no. I didn't know that part.
I forgive his foibles. You know, what do you want to do? You know?
All right.
What's going on with you, Max?
You need to get Chubby Teddy on the show. Chubby Teddy's awesome.
Yeah. I'd like to go to Buffalo Wild Wings and have some beers with you, Chubby Teddy. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, Chubby Teddy. I want to visit him for sure. He does stop motion and he collects. First off, they have a lot of Chihuahuas in his family, which is awesome. And him and his wife, he posts a bunch of swag toy collectibles like Predator and Alien and things like that. And then he posts pictures and his wife is like this when she sees all the stuff he got. And I said,
he does stop motion videos?
Yeah.
What's
with his action figures. Chubby Teddy Monster Productions. Yeah.
I'm going to subscribe to that right now. I love stop motion.
I was going to try to help with my intro at some point, but I don't know what happened there. But I said you would make a killing on YouTube if you did disappointed wife haul videos, like have her explain why we need each item. Like this action figure here, wife. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry. Why do you have this figure? And he have her explain it and looking more and more disappointed. That would be amazing. Like if that would work for the same for me. If I explained to my wife, I have this VHS tape because it's like, you know,
yeah,
that's a whole genre of disappointed wife videos.
Oh
God. Oh yeah.
So Max, give everybody a cat update if you could.
The cat.
Very curious about these cats.
We tried to get to a pet place that's not emergency pet place because they're more expensive. So we did Petco, and then right before the appointment, they sent an email to my wife saying, you need to we can only do this and these testings. We are limited to this. And it wasn't going to be everything we needed to get done for the cat.
Sorry, Max, what did you need? What testing? What happened?
Feline leukemia, because feline leukemia is horrible in cats. It's very contagious, for especially stray cats. Just I don't think they have it, but just to make sure. And some of the other tests we need to get to clear before we introduce our kittens to Momo, you know, and have them more free in the house.
Yeah.
And they said we can't do all that. And I said, we got to cancel this appointment. I don't want to pay for 3 separate pet visits because the first time they were too young to get some of the shots and do those tests. The second time, and then we're going to have to go a third time. So let's find somewhere else. I think that's the new, you do know, like services and companies. It's been as it's been going on the last few years, it's been more and more difficult. I think they intentionally make things difficult on you.
Yeah.
If you're not going to pay for the emergency visit, we can't see you for a month.
Yeah.
Because they want that emergency vet.
They want some money. It's a big racket. So like things like dentists,
Yes.
vets, those kinds of services that people need.
Urgency fee. Yes.
Yeah, they do that kind of stuff. And
so they could tack on extra costs. Right.
I dated a girl who was a massive pet lover and adopted pets all the time. And her credit cards were jacked up all the time.
Yeah. So I think that's what's going on. So when that didn't happen, then we were 2 weeks out again. And then my wife found a place that you could. I'm very suspicious of this place too. I said, make appointments multiple places, and then we'll cancel it if we get somewhere. That's what I told her. But she said Tuesday. They're only Tuesday and Thursday, and it's not appointment. It's not emergency place. You just walk in. I'm like, okay,
good God.
We'll try that. But it doesn't sound like it's. I don't know. That doesn't sound like what kind of not emergency place only takes walk-ins. I'm like, okay.
So what are they charging for this kind of stuff?
Well, the first visit was almost $600.
Get the F out of here.
For 2 cats, for 2 kittens.
Well, what was it? Sorry. So
just
they adopted the cats for free.
Yes.
And what did they want $600 for?
At the emergency pet visit place was the first time was to do some testing on their stool, give them some medicine, and the original without shots.
Oh my God.
And she gave me a discount because I was begging. I said, hey, it's the holidays. We rescued these cats. Can you please give us any discounts? And then after she came in later and she's like, I must have forgot to put a charge on your receipt. I guess it's too late. You know, like that. Good but it was still almost $600. So.
Well, see, they're just, I hate that. They're just, you know what they're doing? They're exploiting love, you know, and I hate that kind of thing. Golly.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. I would never have guessed it was that much money. Wow.
Yeah. But that, and then we have a floor situation. There was, the new floor that we got put in a year ago there was a problem in the kitchen, and we found out there was some moisture under the floor. So I had to take up the whole floor in the kitchen. So the guys come back Monday. Things like that.
God.
The car, the teeth, the cats, the kitchen floor. It's like, oh well. But yeah, I'm happy to be on the weekend. I am going to see less movie. Oh, I also Avatar 3 happened. Good God.
What's the Avatar 3?
What's that?
Max, hang on. When Avatar 2 came out, you were pimping it pretty hard, telling people to go see it. I remember that.
I said he's got to do something different.
No, I'm talking about Avatar 2. So you're an Avatar fan.
Avatar 2 was a little bit the same, but it was at least moving the story forward. And then I said, you have this great premise that you could jack into an alien and have an avatar. I want to see other planets in that universe, like Star Wars. I want to see some variety in the creature design. Not all look like slimy blue aliens. They all have the similar skin. It's like, yeah, it looks cool. And then you also say the same type of story and the same villain each time. I'm like, how are you going to make 5 movies of this? You need to expand it or show what's happening on Earth more, because Earth is like a disaster. There's a reason they're trying to steal the resources of another planet.
Right.
There was a director's cut of the first Avatar movie that was really, really cool. It was like on alien level of stuff going on Earth. And he's kind of like abandoned that and just focused on Pandora and then just telling the same story over and over again. So what happens at this one, without spoilers, is they introduce a really cool Na'vi villain. If you know even if you haven't seen Avatar, Zoe Saldana's character, the main alien female. She's pretty cool. So they have a villain that's of the Ash tribe. She's like fire and got really cool face paint and really intense and violent. And I was like, okay, a new villain in here. And then, slight spoiler, halfway through the movie, they sidestep her and make her a sidekick for the main guy that's the villain in the first 2 movies. And it just repeats things over and over again. It's not exciting. It's like, it's James Cameron's worst movie.
Wow. Well,
James Cameron's worst movie. I know it's making money. I'm happy it's making money. I think we'll get to see the next 2. But honestly, I don't know if I want to watch that movie again. I'd watch the first one again. I might watch the second one. And the beginning of this movie is really cool. Like when they introduce her character and things are getting intense and it's not just the same old, same old. And then they switch back to the same old and play it safe. And just, I don't know why. The other thing about this movie is it should be a TV series and not a movie. I know James Cameron's like only in theater. No. Like it was so long. And if they're going to repeat story points, it would do well in a season long. Like it's almost 3.5 hours, 4 hours. It would be like a season's worth of episodes, and it wouldn't be as hard to watch if you space it out between like 45-minute episodes or 30 minutes episodes over a season, and then maybe you can repeat some things. But in a whole movie, it's just like, good God, it's a slodge.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, so I honestly don't want to go back to the theater again for a while. Like
look, it's making box office. It's hard to.
No, I'm happy for that.
Yeah, and speaking of box office, so my 22-year-old assistant, she went to. I guess they have AMC and I guess other theaters too. The Stranger Things finale, and I don't know if it was just a finale or if it was other episodes too, but they showed the finale in theaters, and she went and she said the theater was packed.
Oh no, people are going to it. I just don't know. I don't know why people like it.
So it's interesting, but the point is that like, well, she even said like, this season hasn't been great, but I've watched every episode. So why not go see it in the theater with friends? So this is, and some people don't like this conversation. This is the kind of things that are going to get people to the theaters. No matter what you think about
a
lot of people watch it. So seeing the series finale in theaters, you know what I mean? That's the kind of thing that's going to bring people to the theaters. I don't know how to explain Avatar. I guess there's still a lot of people who love it, and consider it a big.
Well, there's like, because they're aliens and stuff, the dialogue's easily translatable to other languages. And they're that in a lot of movies that focus on a lot of action, special effects, it's do better worldwide.
It's interesting.
But that is a great segue into the topic you brought up.
Happy New Year, Jade.
Yes, Happy New Year. And we will get to your super chat, Rachel. Thank you as always for supporting the channel. Rachel's really supports the channel with these $2 super chats. That's great. That's all we can ask for, right? Just a little bit of help. It's like a tip. Really
we can also ask you to like the video, you filthy animals. Come on.
Yeah, please like the video. Let us know you're not AI. Let us know you're a human being and supporting humans. Humans support humans by liking this video. And really, I don't know what, you know what? I do know what to say. I'm not going to say I don't know why people don't do it. I'm going to say we value your like, and you really help the channel out if you actually take the time and like the video, and it's sincerely appreciated. Thank you so much for considering. Okay, so why is box office still lagging in 2025 and now 2026? And then I have this image here, and me and Voltaire, the stuff we talk about on air is stuff we talk about off air. We were already talking about it. And I said, I know what it is. I'm not under delusions of that box office is going to get where it was, because box office and the boom after Star Wars and Indiana Jones, that was fresh. RoboCop, all that stuff, all the stuff that you love on VHS. And it was at the boom. It was a trending thing. Movies were like the iPhone of that generation. VHS, we talked about this before. VHS was a technology for consumers and entertainment on the level of an iPhone. Everyone had a VHS player. You mean I could watch a movie at my home?
What?
That was unheard of. It was a game changer.
Even the dirty movies, Max?
No. No, but that was a game. Yes, and also if you love physical media, the corn industry does help a lot of physical media for years as well, until the internet too. Look at what happened to that industry, physical media. But yes, people seem to forget that it was new and fresh and exciting. And then what's the other thing that's happening, Voltaire, with movies? How hard is it to come up with an original idea that no one's done?
Mm.
And I'm not saying the Moon movies are crap. I'm just saying they're not special enough. You know, why does Spider-Man always have a guest character? Why does Superman have a guest character? James Gunn's smart, because if you just do Superman on his own, you're not going to make any money.
No.
Unless it's a perfect movie. And do perfect movies exist? I could argue that some may be perfect, but probably not. You can't just do a movie. You got to do something extra. You got to do the fan service. You know, so it doesn't. And you said, why is Avatar even? It feels like a spectacle movie. It feels like it was made. Even though I didn't like it, it at least feels like they are like, you know, why is the Odyssey with Christopher Nolan? Why is it people buying tickets a year in advance? It feels special. You know, the Odyssey's been done before, but not Christopher Nolan is a brand, you know? It's not been done by Christopher Nolan. Anthony Beltry is here. We will never get 2019 box office level. People have to get over that shirt. Yeah. Joe is partly right where people here's where Joe's right. My pal Crazy Joe, which I got to call soon. He is right when he says people learn or once they got trained to watch things at home and wait for streaming. Okay. That's where he's right. So once that happened, the cat's out of the bag. Just like people got when they stopped buying CDs and they're like how convenient MP3s are. Where he's wrong is, just like the record industry executives, he thought people would come back if you tried to put DRM on MP3s and you tried to control what people want. You can't control people. You can't do it. You can't get them back once you introduce convenience. Convenience is the number one factor of a lot of this stuff. Do you think the best quality is on your phone for gaming or anything? No, it's convenient. It's everywhere with you.
Yeah.
And once you introduce streaming, yes, people's habits have changed. And it's also because every genre of movie is oversaturated. There's a movie that's probably done better before with that same premise.
Right.
You got to do something fresh with it. Just good is not good enough. You know, you got to be special.
Gen Z is not going to the theater. They grew up with streaming and they love it.
Or if there's a special meme culture event around a movie, that helps.
Unless it's a special event like what Teddy's mentioning, his son going to the Stranger Things, like My Assistant. That's what it's going to take. Now, you can deny it. You can be in denial about it and all that kind of thing. Oh, no, it's just because of this. No. People don't want to do it, okay? And I agree with Anthony. It's not going to go back to 2019 levels. We need to get over it. But these numbers are staggering. Like, these are not adjusted for inflation, right? And the numbers are not coming up to 2019 levels at all. Mm-hmm. Nowhere near them. You know,
well, they grew up completely different from our habits. They have everything. They grew up with their phone.
Yeah.
You are competing with the phone for sure. What can you access in your phone? You can't even get them off their phone when they're in the theater. That's people my age too.
Right.
You can't remove them from their phones.
Right.
It's an addiction. It really is. I'm even addicted to my phone. And one of my resolutions is to get phone time away. I'm not saying go to extreme, go to cabinet, or go off the grid. I'm saying put your phone down, listen to some music, play a movie or something, and don't look at your phone for a couple hours. It really helps you. It really helps you. Like, I get chores done around the house when I put my phone down and I put my record on, and I exercise. I don't look at my phone when I exercise.
Or looking at the dating apps, everybody. Come on now. We all do that at the office now and again.
Yeah.
I know I do. So just to put these numbers in perspective, because this chart is one thing, but like 2019, the box office was 11.2 billion domestically. 2025 was 8.87 billion. So that's like 20%, something like that. Like and that's not adjusted for inflation, everybody. Like, these are massive down.
They are definitely, like, people want to say you're a James Gunn hater if you bring up that Zack Snyder actually sold significantly more tickets, but the amount the money is about the same. That is a factor. If you're not selling as many tickets, you're not. You're diminishing returns. It's a huge factor.
Yeah.
And
you can lie to yourself and pretend it's not a factor, but that's silly. You know,
I'm not saying the Superman wasn't successful. It wasn't profitable. I don't think it was a slam dunk. You know, you could go forward with it. But when you sell less tickets, the industry is looking at that for sure. We're selling less tickets. We are selling less.
Our next topic too, as well. So yeah, keep going, Max. But yeah,
Relapse from Australia. He's my friend that visited me from Australia. I want him to come back. My son is Gen Z, and they love special events like the Stranger Things finale getting a limited screening. It's an event that they go to and post on social media to get engagement. Social media is so important, whether you like President Trump or not. He is in there because he is a strong, even if you think it's horrible social media presence, he knows how to work social media. I think he's a liar on social media, but whatever, he uses social media, and you need social media to make these things trend. Trending is important. You can't just have a release, and it does help when you have a cast that is savvy on the press tour. Besides politics, if you're savvy, you could even get a little bit political if you're savvy enough. If you're smooth with it, you know? You can throw in a little thing every once in a while. You don't have to be completely generic and I have no political opinions at all. The way you do it, the way you present it, if you're tactful, you know, you could still even stress your opinion. Are you likable, you know, on the press tour? People want to get behind a brand and a person and a celebrity, but they want to feel good about it. And these trending things, the memes, besides having a movie that has something extra in it, something original that's never been done before, it's extremely hard to do. You got to have that extra, the special sauce. Even for me to get back to the theater. Let me see here.
Yeah, but so it's really an interesting marketing ploy, and I think we'll see more and more of this going into the future. So Stranger Things it's an event show. People loved it. It took the zeitgeist by storm, right? Putting the finale in the theaters, that's the kind of thing that's going to get kids to theaters, you know? But it takes something like that and, you know, wanting to post on social media and go with your friends and that kind of thing. It's not the same thing anymore like it used to be.
Yeah. Absolutely. And there are going to be bright spots like Christopher Nolan, and I think Avengers Doomsday is going to break records. And Avatar 3, even though I didn't like it, it's still doing well.
No, Avatar 3 is doing fine, which is, you know, obviously there's a market for that. And, you know, again, like you said,
it's like it's not like an amusement park movie, if you want to say it that way. And you know what?
It has international appeal, right? So.
So that's our thoughts on why box office still lagging in 2025 and now 2026. It should be looked at. Budgets do need to go down. I do think James Gunn's done that part right. He's got the budgets down a little bit more. Maybe he has to.
I think David Zaslav made sure of that.
Yeah. I'm going to try to find an article about this Avengers Doomsday stuff because it looks amazing. It really does. It has. I love the Russos have made. Let me bring this up too.
Comic book movies, you know, no matter what, they failed on that Netflix project they did. Right? Everybody hated that.
Yeah.
But you can't deny that their Marvel movies are some of the best. Not just comic book hero movies; they're just some of the best movies, like Endgame and what's it called? You know, those movies are tremendous films just to watch, and they have tremendous rewatchability. So bringing them back and all that kind of thing, it's going to cause a hype train to get going. But isn't it funny that with everything that's been going on with Marvel and everybody saying it's just fine, blah, 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 it's only a few people who say it's bad. What did they do to try to get the hype back up? They brought back old characters, brought back the Russo brothers. We're doing things like we used to, everybody. Take a look. Come back.
Yeah. In CGH Entertainment Plus, you actually, with this comment, I don't know where you're in the chat now. Hopefully you'll come back. But he's saying, well, it's over for superhero films. I've been hearing this forever. Once Doomsday and Secret Wars come out, it's a wrap on the superhero genre, and then it is for movie theaters. Wow, he's even dooming the movie theaters on that. Video game adaptations are doing better. There's always going to be a new trend to chase. Barbie was something. There's the Christopher Nolans, the Denis Villeneuves. There are, there's also who did Sinners. Ryan Coogler does not just superhero movies anymore.
Right. These event directors.
These event directors. IMAX. I say because of diminishing returns, even though again Joe's not going to be happy with it. I'm like, don't have regular screens. Just do IMAX screens. That way you could charge a premium. It's justified, and you don't. You make a lot more profits on IMAX. That's why Avatar 3 got so much. I don't even think it's playing in regular screens.
Is that right?
It might be, but I think the majority of Avatar 3 showings are IMAX or real 3D, XD format, not just regular movie. And I think if you do that for releases, and people are going to get mad at me for saying it, that's how you get the profitability. You don't need it in every single, like a multiplex that has 20 screens. You probably need theaters built with like 2 to 3 premium format screens and maybe 2 regular screens once it's on its way out.
They're going to have to revamp the whole.
You don't need 20 screens per theater because people don't show up for everything. Yeah. Focus on the premium format where people feel like they're getting their value, even if it's more expensive. And yeah, the economy sucks, but people still pay premium when they feel they're getting a premium experience. They'll still show up for you.
Right.
We're going to remind me of Rational's. Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Voltaire.
For the cat.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, it is getting crazy. Thank you so much. So we'll get to this. But I do want to go over this too, because people...
Okay, just leave it. Go ahead.
People forget that at one point of time, and this is after I'm seeing the Avengers, this for context, because I sometimes need to present things better. Okay, for context, even before Avatar 3, there's all kinds of trailers and stuff, and it's harder to determine if it's AI or not now. AI is getting pretty good. If it's official Doomsday stuff or not. People said, don't doubt Russo brothers. You're getting all these Easter eggs from the Avengers Doomsday trailers of Fox characters coming back, like they did Deadpool and Wolverine, with Cyclops from the Fox Cyclops movies, from the first, him coming back, X-Men coming back, a lot of characters, but people seem to forget, and this is where I say, James Gunn, is he hurting himself? Because most likely he will not include Easter eggs from different versions of DC, or he will be extremely limited, not to the levels that you're going to get in Avengers Doomsday. And any progress...
Control of the Batman? Why?
What's that?
Why? Because he doesn't have control of Batman? Is that why you're saying
No,
that?
because he wants his blank canvas, just like if Ryan Johnson took over a universe. Do you think he's going to include all kind of Easter eggs from other stuff?
I feel like James Gunn is smarter than Ryan Johnson, and he will.
I do think he's smarter, but I don't think he's smart enough. Like, if you really want, after all this stuff that's coming out from Avengers Doomsday, of all the different versions of Marvel, and celebrating it, and bringing back that talent to give another swan song and another little thing for the fans that supported superhero movies in the early days. You do not get that in DC. Actually, and this is a great segue, because I have to find this on my Twitter feed. I retweeted what Nicolas Cage said about his part in The Flash, and he was like, this is, oh, here, I have it. This is great content. Let me bring this up first.
See, we bring you friendship and great content, everybody.
No, this is what you get with DC. You get people that don't even know what's going on. You change the movie so much that it doesn't represent what they signed on for. It looks cheap. People still defend the way this looks. Nicolas Cage says the Superman scene in The Flash isn't what he shot. I'm not saying they used AI. Maybe it was CGI. Whatever it was, that's not what I did. Like, you have Nicolas Cage there and you use this cheap looking CGI that actually looks like PS2 graphics. I'm not effing kidding. I know people say it's a style.
No. It will 100% look like PS2.
No, this is not hyperbolic. It legit looks like PS2. And then you go to Marvel and they are celebrating the history of their people that have played their characters and they're bringing them back. And you're always going to compete with this, whether you like to or not.
And you can't put this on James Gunn.
No, not completely on him, but he has the opportunity. He can do some things he wants to do.
No, but
he
not
can
for
do
this
this.
Film. I can't agree with you. This film was already in the can by the time he got there.
No, they changed things though. Even based on what they said in this comment. I was supposed to stand in an alternate dimension and witness this destruction of the universe. Even when James Gunn took over, he made adjustments and notes for Flash, though. They took things out. They changed things around.
So this was
he had some input. Who we can only speculate as to what was done. But if you saw in the Flash the destruction of a universe, an alternate universe, is what I believe the original plan was for the Flash. Was where they destroy things and then an alternate universe, and you're in there.
Yeah.
You can't. How can DC compete with this? Even with the momentum that James Gunn has had. Once Avengers Doomsday, it's Doomsday for DC again. Like, it's not gonna feel fresh again.
So I get your point. It's valid, but this particular sequence is in a way fan servicey, and here's why. Everybody knew about the Nicolas Cage Superman, right?
Yeah, but it's not executed well.
Kevin told the story about the giant spider that they wanted, right? Yeah. You've heard that story, right?
Yeah.
So they were kind of trying to do it looked terrible. I'm not going to lie to you. All of that Flash stuff looked terrible in the side stuff. Of all the stuff that looked bad when they were in the what's it called, the Speedverse, that was the least worst of it, if you will. But yeah, I get your point.
Yeah, but what you said before, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling a little bit. What you said before the stream is DC felt fresh again with James Gunn, but that was when Marvel was what? Effing up. Now that they have Doomsday, they have this momentum, you're having all this fan service and Easter eggs, and then I know my pal Crazy Joe or Little Movie Perp, I know he's Perp, say all you need to do is a great story. I'm here to tell you, no, you need more than a great story because it's been done before. You can't just make a good superhero movie. You can't just make a good superhero movie anymore and it become profitable. It has to have that little extra.
It has to have extra.
It has to have all that stuff.
For context, we were talking and I told Max I felt better about the Gunn universe when Marvel was producing what they've been producing since the pandemic, quite honestly, phase 4 and on, I felt like there was a gap, but these Doomsday films, what have they done? They're saying, hey, we're going back to how we were when we were great. We brought the Russo brothers back. We're bringing back Steve Rogers. We're going to have Thor, all that kind of stuff. It's not going to be like before. That makes James Gunn's job harder on top of the merger stuff going on. I'm not as optimistic about DC's prospects as I was before.
Yeah, now that I've seen Doomsday stuff, it looks good. Like, it was possible Russo's had some failures on their other projects when they weren't working on Marvel or MCU, but they come back and it looks just as fresh and as exciting and epic. They can do epic really good.
Let me ask you a question, Max. From a studio head standpoint, think about this, okay? You got Kevin Feige, right? They did all their phase 4 stuff. Whatever you want to say, people say it was fine. The results, the box office doesn't dictate that it was fine. Then they released Deadpool versus Wolverine, right? And they see the success of Deadpool Wolverine. Now, what did Deadpool Wolverine have? 2 old characters, bringing these different crossovers. And is it fair to say that maybe Feige and the executives said, hang on, okay, this is what people want. Let's give it to them. So that's what they did with Doomsday, right? Because what did Deadpool Wolverine make? It was a $2 billion film, right?
It's at least $1 billion. Yeah.
Right. So is it possible that maybe they listened to the fans
Yeah.
and said, oh, this is what they want. Let's give it to them.
Yeah.
And maybe other executives might want to listen to that. I don't know.
Right. James Gunn should, and the Gunn nuts, the fans should maybe think about this, because sometimes people forget that people hated Fox Marvel and they hated Sony Spider-Man almost as much as they did to the Snyderverse. I would say we are the most unbiased and consistent entertainment independents here. Independent media too. We haven't done the ad read yet. We're still determining if we want to or not. I would lean more towards don't want to. I think Voltaire does that too, because they want to be as unbiased as possible. But now these projects are getting celebrated with nostalgia on, and people love the Fox properties. Only now, when they were coming out, they bashed them to hell. Remember when Wolverine Origins came out, and what was the other Wolverine movie? They bashed that stuff.
Yeah, but there were a few good ones in the middle. But yeah.
Oh, remember they talked about Wolverine's claws, and it was a disaster. They talked horrible about those movies, and even Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, and now he's beloved and loved. And when people get mad at Snyderverse fans, they seem to forget that it might be as simple as they want what Marvel has. Why can Marvel fans ask for fan service and nostalgia and bring their characters back, but DC can't? And I do think that's a valid argument. Why does Marvel get all this? It's okay when Marvel fans want to see this stuff and celebrate their other versions. Why can't we have that too? So why can't DC have the celebration of DC? I know they're going to say that happened in The Flash, but there is no comparison what's going on in Avengers Doomsday and Spider-Man No Way Home with the actors there, not some PS2 rendered bullshit that honestly made me feel gross about Christopher Reeves too. They put
the Christopher Reeves thing was gross. I hate that.
It didn't feel good. It's not a celebration. People are like, well, that did what it was intended to. It did not. Execution was way off in The Flash. But do you agree with this statement? People hated Fox Marvel like they did for Snyderverse. I was a little bit. I don't think as much as the Snyderverse.
No, sorry, Max. I can't agree. Not because how good First Class was in Days of Future Past. It's not to the same level, but yes, prior to that, you know what I mean? Yeah, there were some bad films that people didn't like. I just feel like there was more hate for Snyderverse than there was for that. But yeah, I see your point.
All right. Let's get to Rational Skeptic. We're actually going to probably it sounds good to have like a shorter episode tonight. And then I'm going to work on being more consistent.
We're going to talk about that merger.
Oh, yes. We'll talk the merger. Rational, I DM'd you gaming news. Thank you so much, Rational. Let me bring that up here. See what he sent me here. Ooh, this would really piss me off. Jason Schreier, I'm here. This is about a new God of War. Hearing from multiple sources that Sony is seriously considering shutting down Santa Monica Studios and canceling the next God of War game currently in development, citing ongoing economic pressures in the industry. Nothing confirmed yet, and these things can change, but it's what people are telling me.
What? Get the hell out of here.
I doubt this one, Rational. I don't think this is accurate because
one of the most profitable games ever made.
Well, I think the PS2 God of Wars were more profitable than the new ones. But they push the PlayStation system graphically. They justify the PS5 Pro, the premium PlayStation 5. And they're also, I doubt, it's still possible that they would cancel the next God of War. But they're also developing a God of War TV show or movie right now. So I think it's really good for, unless it's a God of War remake.
That TV
it could be a God of War remake from the old.
Is that an Amazon thing, that God of War?
I don't remember. I got to figure out where it's. It might be a TV show. It might be a movie. I know something's happening with it though. This could be the next God of War mainline next gen God of War, or maybe I would think it's more plausible that I heard rumors they were actually doing a God of War remake of the PS2 game, I'm talking, like Resident Evil. They did a really good graphical remake. Maybe that might get shut down, and I hope not that either. But
I'm sorry, Rational. I have a hard time to believe that this particular IP would be something they would abandon.
X1, X2, and Days of Future Past were all loved. What do you talk about? There was a lot of other Fox movies during that time that were not, including Fantastic Four, X-Men Origins Wolverine. The Wolverine was not, some people liked, some didn't. Daredevil, Fantastic Four, and now they're looked on with they're cheered, so I'm not pulling that out of my ass. People really wanted, Days of Future Past came by, or the first is the Days of Future Past. First Class came out, and people were like, "Oh, that was good," but you had a series of blunders before that,
Yeah, but Fassbender and what's his name, the guy who played Xavier, were excellent, and it was tremendous casting, and kind of carried the whole thing.
Donovan Martins here says, "Max, you're being hyperbolic AF." I want James Gunn to succeed too. Once Doomsday comes out, I think Marvel's competing at another level again. What Voltaire said, I think, is completely accurate. You felt some freshness and some momentum going when Marvel was not producing great stuff. Now, if Doomsday is as good as it looks, and the amount of fan service and that it throws up to previous versions of Marvel, and it succeeds, I think it's going to blow DC out of the water again, and you're going to be feeling stale.
It's a $2 billion film, everybody.
Right. And it's going to leave DC in the dust again, even with what James Gunn doing.
Everybody who says that Kathleen Kennedy is doing a good job, look what Marvel can do. Look what Feige can do just by bringing back old characters and old directors who people liked, and they're going to produce a $2 billion film.
Mm-hmm.
Kathleen Kennedy can't do that because she hasn't produced anything good, and she won't. And she won't bring back old characters. Whether you want to shit on old characters or not, whatever you want to say, that's what it takes, everybody, in today's market. And watch, Doomsday will be a $2 billion film. I have no doubt about it in my head. I'm pumped for it. The little previews I've seen look fantastic. What are they doing? Bringing back old characters, bringing back old directors.
Yeah. They're celebrating their history instead of avoiding it.
Correct.
Donovan, where am I saying it's just when you could celebrate your history and combine those fandoms together, you're going to be a lot more successful than the competition.
So Supergirl,
I said before, if I was in charge of James Gunn, I would keep James Gunn, and I would say James and Zach, I think the two best versions of DC out of the history were Zack Snyder and James Gunn. I'd say work together with something, bring these Easter eggs, and then you're going to be competing somewhere on Marvel's level, Combine the both. You bring your fandoms together.
Based on what you've seen about Supergirl, aren't you kind of pumped about that movie? I'm pretty pumped about it.
I am, but I don't think it's going to be as big as I thought it was going to be before I saw the trailer.
Well, it's not going to be Doomsday big, but
I thought it was going to get to $1 billion, almost like the first Wonder Woman.
$750 million film. I think it might be better than the Superman film because of Momoa.
Yeah. You're overacting Supergirl.
Hang on, sorry.
Clayface will do fine.
Armchair executive talk is not BS. No, it's legitimate talk. We're talking with friends. We're talking with whatever.
It's going to do good enough, Donovan. I think they're going to continue, but Don't you want DC to compete on Marvel's level? Isn't that competition? Doesn't that make art better? Doesn't that make the industry better? Doesn't that give job security to all these people working at the theaters, working on special effects on these movies, make more projects instead of limiting the projects? You know, wouldn't you like these James Gunn's DC to be successful enough that he can increase the amount of movies and output and TV shows? So it will be fine. Like you said, we'll do fine. Is that what if you were an executive at a studio, Voltaire, and your employee or your director who is in charge of your universe said, yeah, we're not going to have that stuff that Marvel's doing, all the Easter eggs of previous version, but it'll do fine. Is that what you want to hear?
No.
It'll do fine. Or
No.
a shareholder. It will do fine.
Well,
no, you want to hear,
okay.
This is going to get it, you know? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So Disney seems to be okay with that based on the Star Wars numbers. But I mean, and look, and you know, Figure Drawing says he doesn't think that Supergirl will break 500 million. He might be right.
Yeah.
I don't underestimate Jason Momoa's star power, you know, and the stuff I've seen, and also Lobo. There's something about that film. I just feel like it's got a lot of cachet. I'm actually really looking forward to that film. I hope it does better than 500 million. I really do, everybody.
Yeah. When we say these things, it's not like if they surpass expectations and they do great, we're happy. I want people to have jobs. I want new projects it's because I want these multiverses to thrive. I want James Gunn to go farther than Zach did. Did you hear that, Donovan? I want him to be able to complete his plans because Zach didn't.
What?
Yes, I want him to be able. So if you want James Gunn to finish what he started, he's got to be extremely successful, you know? Let me see. Let me bring up here. We're going to probably switch to what you wanted to talk about. The other thing happening with DC is the sale of DC and the Paramount and Netflix battle to obtain Warner Brothers. But full disclosure, if you would like to disclose to the audience and people watching on the replay, Voltaire, you're a successful businessman and you are able to invest, right? So if you want to share what you've witnessed about this DC or this Warner Brothers sale is what you've been shared as an investor in Warner Brothers, please.
So when Zaslav took over, and he did some things that I liked, I bought some Warner Brothers stock, everybody, at like $7, $8 a share. It was like down, like it was dying. You know what I mean? I think even William came on this show and he said, you know, I would buy some Warner Brothers stock right now. Because I think it's going to get sold and it's going to do better. And I thought, you know, William's making a lot of sense. So I even bought more. Okay. So that's kind of how I just buy stock. So I got in the mail from my brokerage firm that I have an option to sell my Warner Brothers stock to Paramount and the Larry Ellison Group. So I said, let me take a look into this a little more. Max, do you have the link for the thing they sent?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to go through the whole thing because it's GD boring. But I got a 250-page paper document in the mail. Okay? Double-sided. I sent a picture of it to Max because I couldn't believe that it came in the mail, like old school style. All right?
Bring it up now. I tried to make it bigger. Let me see if I could get any bigger than this. Hold on.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm going to summarize this. I read through this. I skimmed it. I put it in AI so you guys don't have to read it. So everybody knows there's a deal on the table for Netflix to buy Warner Brothers. Everybody knows about that right now. And that's been approved by the Warner Brothers board and Zaslav and all that. So Ellison and Paramount came in and put up another offer. And Zaslav and the Warner Brothers board said, no, we don't want it. We want the Netflix offer.
Mm-hmm.
Ellison,
I want to interrupt one thing. They're claiming it's because the foreign funds with a lot of this too is what Zaslav and Warner Bros. Are saying is why they rejected Paramount's offer. There's a lot of.
We'll get into that. Yeah.
Okay.
So Ellison and Paramount put together an offer, which on paper looks like it's more money per share, but Zaslav rejected it because of the funding of the money, which is what Max was alluding to. And the board, not just Zaslav, the board of Warner Brothers said, we don't want that deal. The Netflix deal is still better. So what did Ellison, and this is Ellison, everybody. It's not Paramount. It's Ellison. It's the Ellisons. They have too much money. They've decided to engage in a hostile takeover. Now, how does that work? Just for basics. So you have to present a deal to the board, and the board has to vote on it. The board's voted on it, and they said no. So what does Ellison say? I'm going to offer every individual stockholder a certain amount of money to tender their stock. And I'll take their shares. And then once I have control, I own the board. So I got a letter saying, I'm going to buy your shares for $30 a share. Okay? If you want it, go into your brokerage account and say yes. And the $8 a share, $9 a share, whatever I paid, we'll give it to you for $30 a share. And Ellison's hope is that he gets more than 50% control. Essentially, this is basics. I mean, for hostile takeovers. Then he has enough shares that he can overrule the board and Zaslav, right? So far, they haven't gotten enough traction on this. You know what I mean? So, but that's what they're trying to do.
Donovan, you asked the question that Voltaire was very expertly answering. WB rejected Paramount's latest offer. Why are we even talking about this? Because they are not trying to work with Zaslav anymore. They're trying to go directly to shareholders, make it seem like they're offering more per share and that it's good for shareholders. And then they will own enough of shares of Warner Brothers to overrule the board. So they're trying. Yeah. That's simply put is how a hostile takeover can work. You don't like negotiating with the people in charge. You try to take over shares and control the board with brute force. But it's so far it's not working.
Right. And Donovan, the reason we're bringing this up, because yes, you're right. They did reject it. The board rejected it. And to Donovan's point, Paramount produced a revised proviso, and it's anticipated that Warner Brothers is going to reject it next week, actually. But
if enough people, if the scenario, if enough shareholders took this, it might work, but it doesn't seem like that's happening, right?
Okay. So that's my point. I'm not a big shareholder, obviously. I'm not like, there's people with millions and billions of shares. There's billions of shares of Warner Brothers, everybody. It's not like there's 100 shares, there's billions. So there's people with gigantic shares. I'm not one of those people. But they sent me this thing, everybody. That's my point. That's what Ellison is doing.
To everyone.
Money to send that stuff. Okay. It was a 250-page paper document mailed to me. All right. I'm a small fish. There's people, that means they sent it to every Warner Brothers shareholder to try to scrape and to get this. And the whole point of this story and me bringing it up and wanting to discuss it tonight, everybody, is to tell you what they're going through to try to get this done. Right. Now, the reason that Zaslav is a business guy, he wants money.
Hey, Cal.
Right. Hey, Cal. And the Zaslav is all about making money. And some people even think Zaslav took the job to prepare Warner Brothers to be sold so he can make money. Right. He doesn't want this deal. Okay. Even though technically the Netflix deal is $27 a share, the Ellison deal is $30 a share. It sounds like a $3 difference is not a big number, but when you're talking about billions of shares, it's a gigantic number, right? So he still doesn't want it. They're saying that there's funding issues and all this kind of stuff, and the Ellisons have ties to certain governments, which I'm not going to get into, and some of the funding is questionable, and they're not going to go through with it. So what's going to happen with this? I mean, it's fascinating. There's a lot of issues with this. Now, one of the things that Paramount and Ellison says is that it's not going to pass monopoly scrutiny because if Netflix gets this, they'll have.
They always say that in all these mergers. It's very rare for a merger not to go through. It makes headlines. It's clickbait on mainstream media. But normally, especially in people don't like Trump, but these companies, these big corporations always grease the wheels of politicians to get what they want. Oh, there's monopoly concerns. What are you going to do for me? That's politics. No, Trump is the most blatant with it. But honestly, and he doesn't more than other politicians. I honestly believe that. But when the Democrats pointed at I'm like, oh yeah, you're full of shit because you guys do similar things. You're just not. You just do it more behind the scenes. They're always trying to grease the wheels with monopoly.
Right. So, and Allison, one of his things he's saying is that the SEC and they're not going to pass this because of monopoly. And so just give it to us. It'll be okay. And then what Netflix counters with is that, so you're worried about streaming shares. If a big studio like Paramount movie studio also gets another big studio like Warner Brothers, how is that not monopoly? And why do you think, like, they just approved in 2020, 2019, Century Fox being bought out by Disney? Like, if you don't want to talk about monopolies and big studios eating other studios, and reducing people's. So my prediction is this: there's a lot of force in this, and why they don't want Netflix to buy this. I personally think that the movie studio industry understands that streaming is going to dominate in the next 20 years. Like, the theatrical experience is just not going to be where the money is, and they don't want Netflix to have IP. That's my personal theory. And so Paramount's trying to stop this. Ellison, I just don't trust him. He's a sleazy son of a, you know what. So that's kind of what's happening. That's all. I just wanted to bring it up that even they're sending this out to small fish like me. And that's how
they're making a Hail Mary to try to make this work. And it could work, but honestly, because it depends on the share. A lot of shareholders just want to make money. If they make more per share and it looks like they're going to benefit from the sale, they might do it. Right?
If they could get enough people, but so far, based on them, because they try, this is like, they just sent this to me today, but they've been trying this tender for a while. And apparently they just, according to analysts, the numbers that they've got of people tendering shares, it's too small. It's not going to be enough for them to take control. So it looks like the Netflix deal will go through, everybody. Now, I'm going to tell you something, not financial advice. Netflix is like $90 a share. If you go on Robinhood, you don't have to pay $90 for a share of Netflix. You can buy portions. If Netflix gets this deal, the next 5 years, I think Netflix stock will explode more than it already has. So, not financial advice, but if you're thinking about getting in the game, Netflix, you believe in the streaming future of the world, pick yourself up some Netflix and think.
I do. Here's what I would say, not financial advice, but if I had two categories and I could invest in Hollywood as a whole or Netflix, I would invest in Netflix ahead of Hollywood.
I would agree with that.
And actually, it makes me feel like I should put a little bit of money in. I've never invested in something like that, but I really think if I can, you said Robinhood, you could get part of a share. I might.
You don't have to pay $90 a share. So if you even look, everybody, so get the thing out of your head. Like, I don't have $90 a share, but maybe you have every month $50 you can devote to it, right? So in every month, if you buy $50 worth of Netflix on Robinhood.
Netflix as a brand too is just like, it's huge. You think of streaming, you think of Netflix. I don't think it's going away. It's as relevant as Blockbuster was in its day for what it offered.
So 4 years ago, I had a bunch of Netflix stock and I sold it because I saw all the competition for streaming and I said, there's no way Netflix is going to maintain this market share. I was wrong. They maintained it and they killed it. Like, they're killing everybody.
Yeah.
So if they get and they have no IP, everybody, Netflix has no IP. All right.
They can now.
But if they get Warner Brothers, they got IP. They got some pretty good IP. So just think about it. do as you wish. Again, not financial advice, everybody, but
no, I'm seriously considering it. I don't have the money right now, but
Max put
I would like to do it before it's official.
Put $5-6 a month. Netflix is actually down right now, and it will be down.
That's why I would want to. Yeah,
it will be down for a while. This is like a 5-year play, everybody. It's not going to make you money in a year, but 5 years down the road, put $5 a month. You can afford $5 a month, everybody. I know you can.
I'll save the money from going to the movie theater and buy stock.
Yeah, and
save the $20 per ticket for two people, $40 for the theater, and put that money in the stock market instead.
In 2030, you'll be thanking Daddy Voltaire for telling you to do that. Trust me.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's it.
So
that's what's going on.
So thank you, Voltaire, for the gifted memberships. We have Adam Baker, 8173, gifted membership. The Juice Man's back. Tech Uncaged. Devastra Omega. Luke's Awakening 64. Protoss X. Arcac Hang Gaming. Actually, when I'm thinking about it, I should also go through my list to make sure people weren't blocked as well, since it's been a while since I have.
Yeah. Just a second. Calling me to take over.
Yeah. So we'll do a few other quick topics and then we'll call it a night. I appreciate Voltaire keeping this mic drop going with me. It's a great show. I really enjoy it. There'll be more content on the channel. Let's see what else is going on the good news of Twitter. I mean, X. Animated storyboards of Ben Affleck's Batman fighting Deathstroke. Again, I'm not holding it. It's possible you might get it. I don't think so. But this kind of stuff excites me, especially what I've been seeing in AI. The animation looks really good here, fluid. I'm excited about fan projects like this. It looks great. I'm really hyped for this. I want to see the finished. The animation looks solid to me. This is what I'm holding out hope for. Fan stuff is going to get even better. Fan films. This isn't necessarily AI, Donovan. This looks hand-drawn to me. I mean, AI can do hand-drawn scenarios, but this looks legit to me. It looks like a hand-drawn, and they're working through the animation. And these are rough animations, so they can refine it later on once they have all the animations complete. According to a source, I think Voltaire's going to come back. I'm not sure. He had to step away, I guess. Xbox buys a significant amount of RAM before prices skyrocket. Xbox seems to be preparing for a shortage or console launch, says Insider. What's very interesting is there seems to be a shortage. Did Microsoft do some behind the scenes BS and buy up all the components so it'll be harder for Sony and Nintendo to make their new consoles or new stock of consoles? Is that another play that Microsoft has done? I don't know. They could easily buy up like important components. If I was thinking of, things that a corporation could do when they're playing like, for a better term, dirty pool against their competitors, buy up all the components so there's a shortage and you have your console on the market, next gen console for the next Xbox after Series X, and the other players can't make their consoles because there's shortages of components. I think Microsoft has the funds to do that. I don't think they care about people. I think they care about IP, and I think they're going to do whatever. I think they're going to get very aggressive in this next gen. If they're able to produce a premium Xbox follow-up to the Series X for next gen, and there's a component shortage for Nintendo and Sony, that can be a factor. Will people hold off because they don't trust Microsoft? Maybe, but I think there might be something go on there. Rational $2. Thank you so much for the support, Rational. Thoughts on Netflix doing 17-day window for Warner Brothers? I don't know. This isn't confirmed. This is, I guess, rumor at this point. Whatever. Here's what I say. Microsoft too, when they were acquiring Activision, was there. I don't know if you follow that enough, Voltaire, because you're a casual follower of gaming news.
Right.
But when Microsoft, there was monopoly concerns about they had to go to court in Europe to justify the buyout of the merger of Microsoft Activision. And basically, in the court, Microsoft told the court and the judge whatever they wanted to hear. So when Netflix says we are not going to change the Warner Brothers movie release schedule, I say they're telling you what you want to hear.
Right.
And that's for now.
Yeah.
That's for the short time being when
that's
you first take over. That's
time.
Yeah, that's on projects that are already in the can. There's actually, when you make a movie, usually there is a theatrical and distribution plan and contract set up. So it would actually cost more to get out of those contracts and not do what that's in the contracts. That's why when Disney bought Fox, some movies had to go streaming only or something changed, or they had to put in theatrical. When you develop a movie, sometimes investors and directors, there's a distribution agreements in there that you can't change. So yes, if Netflix does get Warner Brothers and they take over, they're probably not going to change the theatrical schedule right away, but it will happen.
It will.
And that's basically just common. It's gradually where the market is going anyway. Can you imagine what the theater industry is going to be like in 2030? I don't feel it's coming back like it was 5 years ago. I think that's going to be significantly different. I think it's going to be a premium experience only, and then niche. Collect, or not like for example, physical media is a niche product now. It's not gone for like Blu-rays and 4Ks. It still exists, but it's niche releases and geared towards collectors. It's going to be geared towards the cinephiles, and then the mainstream is going to be a premium experience only, is my prediction for the industry going forward.
I think you'd be a fool to think otherwise based on what we've seen with Napster and everything else.
But when Netflix says, "Oh, we're not changing," they're going to change it. They're absolutely going to change it.
Yeah.
And all right, let me see what else is here.
And to be fair, like the critics of Netflix say that Netflix wants to kill the theatrical experience. I agree, they do.
A lot of those, Walmart has physical media, but they don't put a lot of new CDs in there. Like for the music, actually, there's more vinyl records than CDs. And at Walmart,
more vinyl than CDs.
Yeah. Collector vinyls, reissues of like Michael Jackson, Metallica, special Walmart vinyl color, something exclusive to get people to buy it. And a lot of those movies, though, Cal, have been sitting there for years. If you look at new releases at Walmart, it's pretty dismal. You know what I mean? It's not like, remember when you used to go to Best Buy on Tuesday for new releases and they had hundreds of one title? Now you probably have 10 to 20 of a new title, And the games too. It's not like it was though, Cal. I agree with you to a point because they're one of the last outlets that still gets new product in, but it's significantly a fraction of what it was. Physical media is still around. It's just not trending. It's not going to be like what it once was. I actually had a solution to physical media that I think, but I don't think it'll happen.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Back in the day, Sony had universal media discs, like the mini discs, and the PSP, the first PlayStation Portable, played movies, video games, and probably music on mini discs too.
Yeah, I remember.
If you came out with a physical media format that combined, that just played, it was like almost like a Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch, you could take your console with you on the handheld, or you could dock it in your home and it's a console in your home. If you had a physical media that combined the movie physical media, the music physical media, and the video game physical media on one format, and had a device that could play all those seamlessly as a handheld, like a Walkman, a portable gaming device, and then when you bring it home, you could dock it to your TV, I think that would be really good in their resurgence of physical media. Not to the where it was, but I think there's enough collector. Combine the people that collect movies, music, video games all in one device. Sony would be great to do it because Sony came up with the Walkman first, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be great. I just don't think it's going to happen. But that would be my idea to revitalize the physical media market.
Now, would you agree
a new physical media format that really combines everything into one?
Would you agree that the PSP format failed?
The PSP was very popular, the first one.
PSP portable?
Yeah. The people didn't really buy the movies then, but that's because there was better formats like DVD and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I think it could work now, but I think we're also past that. People in my area buy, but they're the collectors though. They're the hardcore Cal. I don't think it's trending like it. Remember when early 2000s Best Buy, when you would go in to buy a new DVD, there would be stacks and stacks or a new video game, right?
Oh, that Tuesday was a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah. New release Tuesday.
Even it was a big deal at Blockbuster and everything, right?
Yeah. There's people keeping it alive, but it's not like it was. The percentage of people from digital to physical, the percentage for like consoles right now, even though people cry about having a disc drive or a physical media, and I am one of those people too, a higher percentage buy digital than physical for movies, music, and video games. Way higher. I don't have the charts available. I could do it for another video, but it's just like astronomical. It's completely like 4 years ago. Digital took over. So
sounds like a Napster.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's bring this up. We're going to call it we'll probably give like a 10-minute warning here, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's not dead. It's just like theaters aren't dead. It's a collector market, a niche market, and a hardcore market. You know, people will keep, people do keep it alive. Oh, so here's where it says Netflix reportedly only wants to keep movies in the theater for 17 days. This would steamroll the theatrical business via deadline. Is this really from a deadline report? I think eventually that is where they're going to go, but not right away. Which you make a movie made for IMAX, it'll be profitable.
So like again, for IMAX, yeah, for the odd IMAX release, but in general, it doesn't behoove Netflix to push forward the theatrical release format. Like they don't want that, They want subscribers to get new content on Netflix.
Is this true? 2025 Mona Lisa.
That's how a lot of girls on the dating apps look, guys, in LA anyway. I'm telling you.
All right. Well, who would you swipe right for? The original Mona Lisa or the one on the right? The original? Okay.
God, I can't stand that Kim Kardashian replica look. So common.
Okay, this is from James Gunn. I love Millie Alcock in the movie. It's a space fantasy, which is like Guardians in a way, but based on the Tom King book. It doesn't follow religiously, but it has a lot of that, the core of that. So there's differences between the live action and the comic world of Woman of Tomorrow, which was very popular, written by Tom King. I gotta say, I really prefer the image on the right, even though I love Millie Alcock and Supergirl in the trailer. I really am looking forward to. That just looks a lot more epic on the right. I'm sorry. No, but even the whole trailer, she looks like that.
Yeah.
I
like Millie Alcock. I think she's a good cast.
But can you imagine if the trailer had Supergirl holding a sword with Crypto behind her and the cape's flowing like that? Then I think it would do better, honestly. This is definitely a way you could do Supergirl. But honestly, if you could pick, what would you go with? Supergirl is going to rock, Cal. I'm looking forward to it. I love the actress. I want this DC to continue. But I got to be honest here. And especially those boots. Like the boots full and center, the cape flowing. Way more epic,
I got to tell you, the party girl, Tinder girl, Millie Alcock version from James Gunn is intriguing me.
Okay. I would pick Millie Alcock in the vibe of the Supergirl on the right.
He's trying to do something different.
Yeah, I know he is. I think it would be more successful, the other version, honestly. Isaac, the biggest movie fans, 57, is back. Hey, Isaac, I hope you and your family are doing well. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Isaac.
Everyone. Happy New Year to Cal, everyone in the chat.
Donovan, all of you.
Okay. So I'm really looking forward to it, but yeah, he says there's differences. Let me see what else is in my good news of Twitter. We have to bring all of our segments
Donovan,
back.
we're going to wait for the movie. And we want it to do well, but we're allowed to discuss it, buddy.
And this is one that I don't go to movies much anymore, but I will go see Supergirl.
I'll go see Supergirl. I'm pumped for it, I have to say.
Yeah. Clueless is far superior to Supergirl. All right. This is where AI really is doing good. Timothy Chalamet he's not my favorite actor. I will say I thought he was one of those overhyped actors, or what do you call them?
Overexposed
and overhyped. And I didn't think his work justified his popularity. And then I saw him in Dune too. And I was like, oh yeah, he deserves all the accolades he gets. And honestly, him as Nightwing in this probably AI image or artist image that was created looks amazing. And DC and James Gunn would be lucky to have him play that role.
Yeah, it would have to be a standalone movie for Timothy Chalamet, though.
Yeah. Hey, The Last Line. We got a collab again soon. Last Line. I'd love to have you on the show. Zack Snyder was overhyped. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not to me, but you don't hurt my feelings.
I get your point.
Donovan, but doesn't this look cool, though? Like, I'm seeing stuff for AI. I don't want AI to take people's jobs, but if you're talking about fan-created content, I'm all for that. Yeah, that's not taking anyone's job.
It's going to take people's jobs, everybody.
Huh?
Okay. So it's going to take people's jobs, everybody. So we're all anti-AI, but remember, there's a whole...
I'm not necessarily anti-AI either. It's just, I do think there should be...
we use terms like AI slop and, that kind of thing. There's a whole group of kids out there right now who have grown up with quote-unquote AI slop, and they won't see AI music as AI slop. They won't see AI acting as AI slop. They'll just see it as the norm. So fight it as much as you want, boomer. Okay, you'll be the new boomer, though, is what I'm saying.
A paintbrush creates slop if you have no skill. Oh, yeah.
That's fair.
I am really for AI with fan created stuff.
Oh yeah,
because I think it gives you the tools of Hollywood, and you'll get some stuff that Hollywood's not going to do. Like I keep saying, stop asking for the Snyderverse restored and just make it yourself. Look at the animation I showed of Ben Affleck's Batman versus Joe Manganiello's Deathstroke. That animation looked great. Mm-hmm. So I would love to see this happen. All right. This is look at this AI. Now you easily could do Kelsey Grammer's The Beast and Hugh Jackman as Wolverine because they exist already. But look at this. I forget that actor's name, Doshmakian or something. Yeah, look at him as Morph. He looks great. And you're getting some of this, and then this isn't necessarily just an image. You could get looks like live action video of these characters recreating X-Men 97 in live action without them actually filming it. And as long as this doesn't cost any jobs, I want to. Would you watch this, Voltaire? I would.
It will cost jobs, but I will watch it anyway.
So Isaac said AI needs to get banned. I don't think it needs to get banned. And whenever there's a prohibition on alcohol or some other thing, whenever you try to ban anything, it doesn't work usually, right? But I do think it should be regulated a little bit, not banned, regulated. And regardless of what side of politics you are on, something that this administration has done is there was all kinds of, and remember Republicans always say, take it to the states, take it to the laws to the states, let the states decide. When it comes to AI, and probably because of donors and the tech bros,
huge money,
tech bros that are both in on the Democratic end and the Republican end, they have disregarded and banned states trying to put regulations on AI for the next 10 years. And that is something that you can and should get involved with in politics and in the midterms. And these data centers, if there is going to be AI, these data centers are making a lot of communities' electricity bills skyrocket. If you're going to build a data center in these neighborhoods and it impacts the community, these companies should have to pay more, or so there should be regulation on data centers and how AI is used. And the current administration said we are not putting any restrictions on AI for the next 10 years, and they try to veto laws that state level politicians are trying to do that are overwhelmingly supported by, and I'm talking Republican and Democrat, overwhelmingly support regulations on AI. So that is something you should be concerned with, and if you can, get involved with. And I am planned to do as well. I don't know how you feel about that, Voltaire. I'm for AI, but I think something should be looked at with these data centers that take up a lot of electricity and put a lot of toxins into the community too, or like, pollution. And also unregulated AI is ridiculous. I think they have to look at this.
So take your voice to the ballot box, like Max said. That's the best way to do anything. But personally, I'm looking at AI from a selfish standpoint. Like, how can it help me?
Make money.
Right. Make money, make my life easier.
I do think if there's a way medical AI could really help people, maybe.
Oh, Max,
that could really help with healthcare costs.
Max.
Yeah.
I would rather right now go into a doctor's office and tell my symptoms to AI than to tell my symptoms to a general practitioner doctor. Okay. I'd rather AI to go through all the possible whatever. I would take that right now. Now that's going to happen. Everybody.
It's going to be harder to sue for malpractice too when it's gone through a computer system of checks and balances. And let's be real, a lot of doctors' visits are just like
in and out. They don't
checking the boxes so you're covered and not get sued. They don't want to prescribe something to you and be wrong. Right. And a lot of these doctors' appointments that even cost healthcare to go up, they know what to do, but they're like, you got to go see this doctor too just to make sure we're covered.
And talk to anybody who's had any kind of health problem or has a family member with a health problem and ask them how the doctors have been. You know what I mean? Once in a while, they'll find a great doctor, just like when you were in elementary school. You might find one teacher who made an impact on you, but the rest were kind of going through the motions. You know what I mean? AI won't do that. You plug in your symptoms to AI. You kind of have to advocate for yourself. By the way, again, not to get on a tangent, if you don't go into AI, whether it's Gemini, Grok, or ChatGPT, and talk about your symptoms with that before you go into the doctor, you're losing everybody. You need to be able to question your doctor. Trust me, I depose these doctors all the time. They are mostly checkoff lists, and they have to see a lot of people in a certain day. So they kind of move people out like sheep. They don't pay attention. AI, on the other hand, if you tell it, I'm doing this, I'm feeling this, AI will blah, 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 plug it in and say, well, it could be this, it could be that. So that's just my personal feelings. I'm just telling you, everybody, watch out for yourself.
Yeah. I would prefer that too. I don't want doctors and healthcare people to go out of business. I really appreciate anyone that serves the community and helps people, but the doctors at the top, they could be hopefully, because there's also a shortage of big doctors, but there's a lot of nurses, and hopefully the AI works with the human nurses and highlight
Cal's last comment for me, Max, please. We don't talk about this kind of stuff a lot, But this is a concern for some people. Okay.
Yeah.
And they've said, people I've spoken to have experienced it personally. And that means it's real to me. AI won't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, like, not everything about AI is bad, everybody. And you know what? You can battle it. You can talk crap about AI, but it's coming, guys. The next 5 years, like in the 90s before the internet was popular and how the internet became popular into the late 90s, early 2000s, like that wave, that's going to be dwarfed by what AI does in the next
AI could be a lot of fun too. Like just
by
like
2030, AI will dwarf what the internet did to us back in like the 90s and early 2000s. So embrace it rather than like, oh, it sucks. AI is slop, blah, 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 blah. That kind of thing.
All right. But some of this stuff looks really good to me.
Yeah.
Like these images. Look at this one. This is another AI image of some actors. If you could see a live action with these actors, you know, you're getting to the point where I want to see the MCU continue and it's really being filmed, but you could do all kinds of interesting things. This looks great. I forget the actors playing. I think that's Arnold Schwarzenegger's son or something is Cyclops, and I don't know who played Jean Grey.
Like cartoon to me.
This looks good to me. I mean, it doesn't look exactly realistic.
Yeah,
but
it looks like
great.
cartoon. It doesn't look like realistic, but I've seen some AI that looks realistic.
Stranger Things finale crossed over 25 million at the box office. Theaters kept 100% of the revenue. Netflix earned nothing due to the lack of guild clearances.
Good for them.
Chevy Chase.
Why is Chevy Chase in the news recently? What's going on with him? Did he produce a report where he was like being a jerk?
It's not. Well, let's listen to this. He sounds like a jerk here. I don't know what. I think they might be asking about the time the N-word slipped out. I don't know. He got that news here.
I'm just trying to figure you out.
No. Wow.
It's not going to be easy for you.
I'm trying to figure out. It's not going to be easy for you.
Why is it not going to be easy?
You're not bright enough. How's that?
Damn. I used to like Chevy Chase, but he's really hard to like at this.
He's old and he's got FU money. He doesn't need any more money.
Yeah, but I don't care if you have FU. Be that he's very unlikable here. He's lost whatever the magic he had when he was young.
Yeah.
He is not. Yeah, savage. All right.
Whoa.
Well, you asked. I know you're not going to put that on the air, and I hope not. But my answer is I'm complex, and I'm deep, and I can be hurt easily, and I react spontaneously to people who want to figure me out, as it were, as somebody who will hold up my guard. I'm not going to let anybody figure me out per se.
All right. This is an old man wearing red glasses, everybody. He's had a great life. Good for him. Whatever. But he's been known, even before, by the way, when he was young, he was known to be a jerk. Bill Murray tells a story when he came to Saturday Night Live, how Chevy Chase tried to mess with him. So he's always been kind of a jerk.
Yeah. Actress Elizabeth Debicki has been cast as an unknown role in Man of Tomorrow, the sequel to Superman for James Gunn's DCU.
Would I've seen her in, Max? Would I know her?
I've seen her before. I don't know where. What kind of character? I think she's got to do something with LexCorp, honestly.
Miss Fassbender or whatever?
I don't know.
We already have a Fassbender. All right, whatever.
But it looks like we are going to get Man of Tomorrow. I am looking forward to Man of Tomorrow. I hope Lex does wear that suit like that. He looks that intimidating. It isn't true. Debicki isn't in it. Okay.
Well, there we go. Well, James Gunn he's very protective about casting rumors, isn't he?
I think that's about. I like this. Another day goes by. Corruption is exposed. People are outraged. Nothing happens. I do feel like that.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah. Doctor Doom and Scarlet Witch. I am
What have you seen
so
what have you seen from Doomsday leaks or whatever you've seen?
just. I haven't even researched that much. I saw the one thing before at Avatar 3, which was a Thor short video. And then I've seen images of Doctor Doom talking with Peter. And then I've seen images with the guy that played Cyclops in the first 3 X-Men movies there, and a big beam going out and him looking. I really like Cyclops. I think he has been kind of underserved in all the X-Men movies. To see him get he's one that needs a redemption arc. Yeah. It's like Sakal was saying, images of Cyclops. It just looks on another level that DC can't compete with. I'm sorry.
Been done right yet so far. He hasn't been done right, in other words, right?
Yeah. Well, he's been done. He hasn't got his time to shine.
Yeah.
This is. I feel like he's finally going to get it.
Like in the comics, and I'm not an expert like Brucifer, but I've read some of the comics, and sometimes when Cyclops encounters Captain America or something, he's a lot more powerful. Not powerful like as far as his superpowers, but just his presence is powerful.
What if this image actually happens in the movie and Doctor Doom controls Scarlet Witch? That would be an amazing sequence too. I don't know if I think this is fan created.
Secret Wars.
Yeah, I don't know, but that would be freaking epic. I think we'll about wrap it up here. Let me see. Yes, Anna Diop is Storm. She played Starfire and DC Titans, and I know this is not look exactly real, but I like this version of AI, and it's going to get there. I could see AI getting there, that this is going to be really epic stuff. Oh, I was fooled by AI quite a few times from set stuff. People putting prompts. Yeah, I was.
Guys with the online dating. All right. Now, okay, look at it's one thing if you're going to online date and meet the girl in person next week. That's fine. But all you guys who have quote unquote long distance relationships with women, okay, quote unquote women, and you think, oh, she's so sweet and all that. Go to the YouTube channel Catfished and watch how many people have fallen for this stuff. And once AI comes in and some dude can put an AI screen on himself and make himself look like a girl and talk to you, just stop with the long distance relationships, everybody. Find a local.
You think that there was a sweet spot for long distance and online relationships, but the influx of AI is really going to impact the dating community, and you should probably go more local.
Okay, there was a sweet spot where, where you could meet a girl in the UK and have an online relationship with her, right? And everything would be fine. Or a girl in Australia, whatever. You know what I mean? It would be fine. But you'd have to have, and you watch some of these videos, the guy's never had video calls with her or anything like that. And it turns out it was some dude in some other country in India or Nigeria pretending to be a woman. But if they had just had it insisted on a FaceTime call or something or a whatever, Facebook call, something like that. But once AI takes over and that guy can make himself look like a woman, it's over. Stop with the online relationships overseas. Only have online relationships where you could see the girl in the next month or two. Never wait more than a quarter, 3 months. So you can go a state over. So if you're in California, go to Colorado. If you're in New York, go to Wisconsin, but it's just like a plane ride, like a 2-hour plane ride away. You can meet the person. Otherwise, you're going to get tricked by AI, everybody. And these girls are going to cry to you and ask you for money and that kind of thing. Be very careful, gentlemen. This is for our pro bro show, Max. Be very careful, boys.
Yeah. Yes, I agree.
I agree with that. Cal, go to a bar and meet a woman.
Yeah. But the last topic I'll bring, because I almost forgot about this one. The long in development, almost like a joke now, is the Mahershala Ali Blade reboot movie.
What is that? Do they still say that's going to happen?
Well, they're talking about Jordan Peele is meeting with Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios for a project. They've talked about Blade before. I think if you're gonna still do it, the way to get some momentum back is to get Jordan Peele. Even though I think the hype surrounding Jordan Peele is a little, it's a little. I like him, but
his name still brings some.
I don't think it does. I don't think as much as it did when the first Coop movies, and then everything feels the same.
If you found out 100%, if Kevin Feige said Jordan Peele is doing Blade,
I'd be happy. I'd be happy.
You'd be excited.
Right, because I think that's going to get the name recognition's enough. It's not like it once was with Jordan Peele, but it's enough there to get some grease to the wheels of Blade.
Pay him, if I was Marvel, I'd pay him whatever he wanted to do.
If I would rather Ryan Coogler do it, but he already did Sinners. There's no way he's going to do this.
I think Jordan Peele is more talented
than Ryan Coogler.
Yes,
I doubt that. I think Ryan Coogler does different genres and is not a one-trick pony. As far as I've seen with directing and producing of Jordan Peele's projects, he's kind of a one-trick pony. He's got a vibe and an aesthetic to his horror movies, but they feel very similar. Whereas I think Ryan Coogler has a lot more range and a lot more mass appeal.
So despite what everybody says, we don't agree on this channel all the time.
At one point, it looked like Jordan Peele was going to be like a Nolan or a Shyamalan when Shyamalan was in his heyday. And then as the movies got out, they've been progressively less.
I understand what you're saying, but I've seen both their works.
But this could change the game for Jordan Peele. He could hit this out of the park. It could be a different vibe, or maybe it really is a horror vibe like Nope or whatever. I don't know.
So Coogler, one of the biggest thing everybody says is that he had a dancing sequence, and that made a big deal, and people praise that dancing sequence. I don't think that's super creative. I've seen what Jordan Peele does, and I feel like it's way more creative than what Coogler does.
Either way,
bad, but Peele is superior in my opinion.
Either way, I'll be through the moon if Blade gets back on track. But the whole Midnight Suns project is in questionable now because Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight might not come back, partly because of reception to Moon Knight. And the other part is he came out publicly. He has got extremely political, whether you like it or not. I love Oscar Isaac. He was great in Frankenstein. He says he does not want to work with Disney after they bent the knee to President Trump.
No, I know.
So, but will he stick to that when there's money on the line? Do you think he'll stand by his convictions? Do you think Oscar Isaac's going to do that?
I mean,
if they make Blade and they're going to develop Midnight Suns, and then we said we need Moon Knight back, or you coming back, Oscar Isaac, and he's like, you know what? No, you bent the knee to Trump. I'm not coming back. There's also Tatiana Maslany, She-Hulk. I think she doesn't want to work with Disney either.
She-Hulk's one thing, but Oscar Isaac is very close friends with Pedro Pascal. They're like, apparently super.
I think they are a thing too.
Well, whatever.
Yeah. So, I think Oscar Isaac has multiple partners.
Whatever it is. Yeah. Pedro Pascal is in bed with Disney.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm going to say. You know what I mean? And Cal, to your point about meeting girls in bars, all you have to worry about is makeup. You got to worry about makeup, and you got to worry about Spanx, brother. Spanx. Spanx are amazing. Everybody, if you're single and you're in online dating, Spanx are just a part of life now. If you're going to get a girl who's quote unquote thick, she's wearing Spanx, everybody. You know, you just have to sort of whatever. I've had girls over here and they said, I need a few minutes. I go, what, to take off your Spanx? Yeah. I go, don't worry about it, baby doll. But it's a common thing. Okay. So makeup, Spanx, push-up bras, all this stuff. We don't have these advantages of men, but Spanx are a real
Cal, thing. I'm right there with you. I'm down with the thickness.
Well, Cal's always bragging about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rational says, and we're going to end here. Oscar Isaac will come back to Marvel if the check has enough zeros. Some people might. I think so 100%. Too. What?
I said 100%. Rational is right.
Or maybe he'll say, "Oh, they've done right by now." I don't know. All right. Well, thank you all for watching the mic drop. We're going to drop some more mics every Friday night if we can, as long as, nothing else is going on. But we enjoyed the time you spent with us here. Hope your new year is doing well and you're thriving and you're enjoying life and family and working on your resolutions. I already had a misstep today. I don't feel like I'm exercising after the show. I'll get back to it tomorrow. I exercised on the 1st.
Mm-hmm. You'll get back into it.
Yeah. And I'm glad to see Cal back and Isaac, the biggest movie fan. We're starting to get some viewers back in that haven't seen in a while, and I appreciate you coming back and joining us. And Voltaire, if you take us out, I appreciate it.
So everybody, we really do appreciate this. We bring you truth, we bring you honesty, and we bring you friendship, and we love to see you here. So good night and good luck, everyone.
Absolutely.